with the pro-Kurdish party having also announced, following coalition talks with the ruling party, that it would favor a coalition government between the ruling and main opposition parties. A coalition of the two leading parties remains the only option following the recent general election. We believe the two parties that got the most votes will produce solutions to the many structural problems of the country, Sırrı Süreyya Önder, a deputy of the pro-Kurdish People's Democratic Party, HDP, said at a press conference on Wednesday. Accompanied by an AK party delegation, Acting Prime Minister Ahmet Davutoğlu met on Wednesday with HDP officials as part of his round of coalition talks with party leaders. Davutoğlu announced on Tuesday, following a meeting with Devlet Bahçeli, the leader of the Nationalist Movement Party, MHP, that the MHP did not want to be part of a coalition government. In the election on June 7, in which the AK party lost its parliamentary majority for the first time since coming to power in 2002, no single party got enough votes to form a government. Önder also said the HDP would offer constructive opposition to a coalition government between the ruling Justice and Development Party, AK Party, and the main opposition Republican People's Party, CHP, should such a coalition act in line with justice, peace, and democracy. The AK Party and the CHP have 258 and 132 deputies, respectively, while the MHP and the HDP each have 80 deputies. Önder was accompanied at the press conference at the party headquarters by Figen Aksekta, HDP CO chair, and Dries Halyakan, HDP parliamentary group deputy chairman. Generally speaking, a total of 276 seats, representing an absolute majority in the 550-seat parliament, are required to form a government. The statements made by Önder and Davutoğlu following the meeting between the AK party and the HDP delegations reveal that the focus in the talks was the settlement process which was launched by the government to resolve the country's Kurdish issue. The meeting at the HDP headquarters in Ankara lasted almost 2 hours, longer than the time the AK party delegations spent during visits to the CHP and MHP officials. After being given last week the mandate to form the government by President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan, Davutoğlu, who is acting prime minister, visited the CHP on Monday and the MHP on Tuesday. In a press meeting following the talks with the HDP officials, which was before the HDP press meeting, Davutoğlu also signaled once again that the AK party does not see the HDP as a potential coalition partner. We could talk about any topic with the HDP, but a framework for a potential coalition partnership is not there, Davutoğlu told reporters at the meeting at the AK party headquarters. He also said no mechanism has been established, in contrast to the case between the AK party and the CHP, for the continuation of coalition talks between the two parties. Talks will continue, but there is no mechanism like the one we have established with the CHP, he said. Davutoğlu talked favorably about the HDP adopting a more critical discourse towards terrorism, saying, "In the past month, we have seen that the HDP stance has changed. This is what is right." Following the coalition talks between the CHP and the AK party, both sides affirmed that an understanding had been reached to continue with talks to achieve a coalition. Davutoğlu is expected to pay a second visit to the CHP next week, which is not the case for the other two opposition parties. Davutoğlu had also earlier said he does not consider the HDP as a potential coalition partner. "We don't see a coalition with the HDP as feasible at this stage," Davutoğlu said in the first week of the month. Following the election, the HDP, which was accused by the AK party all through the election campaign of being linked with terrorism, declared that it would not join forces with the AK party in a coalition. The AK party government launched at the end of 2012 the settlement process with Abdullah Öcalan, jailed leader of the outlawed Kurdistan Workers' Party, PKK. The HDP is also a partner in the now stalled process. There is no possibility of a coalition government that excludes the AK party, as the nationalist MHP rules out being a part of any coalition that also includes the HDP. Following the talks with Davutoğlu on Tuesday, the MHP statement came after midnight the same day. In a statement to the Etikhaber news portal, which is close to the right-wing party, Bosley called on, as usual, the AK party to forge a coalition with the main opposition CHP. Under the circumstances Turkey is faced with today, a coalition government between the AKP party and the CHP should be made possible without delay, the MHP leader said. Although underlining that the MHP does not want the country to go without a government, Bosley added, however, the MHP's interlocutors were told in a clear and sincere way that there has been no change in the political stance the MHP has adopted since the evening of June 7 general election. Arguing that the people's message to the MHP, which only won 80 deputies in the election, is to remain in the opposition, Bosley added that the HDP would be the most suitable coalition partner for the AK party as the HDP is a partner of the government in the settlement process. The party describes the settlement process to resolve the country's Kurdish issue and terrorism problem as a treason process, arguing that the process will lead to the disintegration of the country. The political stance in Bosley's remarks refer to the preconditions laid out by the party for the MHP to be involved in a coalition. The MHP's preconditions include the definitive suspension of the settlement process, the relaunch of the corruption investigation about suspects implicated in a probe that went public on December 17 and 25, 2013, and the restriction of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's use of power to within constitutional limits. The party has made it clear on numerous times that it would not be part of a coalition unless its red lines are fully respected. The MHP leader added in the statement that his party would not shy away from dialogue and meeting with potential coalition partners as long as that would be in the interests of the country.